Hey there, Cambly learners. It's me again, Cambly Tutor Yuri. And today I'll be going over a few things you should try to avoid. Now, these are common mistakes that many students make going into taking or preparing for their IELTS tests. Tip number 1 is rushing your preparation. One of the very first questions every student tends to ask me and other IELTS tutors is the following. How long will it take before I'm ready? And the first thing I say is don't rush it. But the detailed answer to that question depends on two factors. The first factor is your current level with the English language. If you are at an intermediate or a beginner level, well, you have to remember that an IELTS test is a proficiency test, and it's testing your level of English. And in IELTS, your level of English is required to be quite high. Not perfect, of course, but quite a bit above intermediate. So determine with your Cambly tutor what your level of English proficiency is, and this should give you a better idea of how much preparation you may still need before you're ready. The second factor will determine how long it will take before you're ready is, what is your target band score? Are you working towards an overall IELTS score of 6.5 or 7 or even higher? Now, depending on what level you are on now, remember the following, that it can take upwards of 12 weeks to move up a score band by 1 point. So speak with your Cambly tutor and ask them to assess your level, and every few weeks, ask them to reevaluate your current band score to get an idea if you are improving and also how quickly you are improving. But most importantly, of course, don't rush your preparation. Tip number 2. Focusing more on the test and less on your language skills. Now, this is a common mistake that some students make. They spend more time focusing on what may be asked in the test, or focusing on the test structure and practicing examples of this, and therefore they spend less time on simply practicing their language skills. Now, while preparing and practicing and focusing for the test is important and very helpful, it's important to balance this out with improving your overall language skills. The test is unpredictable, and it's designed this way to challenge you to discuss a variety of topics, so you won't be 100% sure what will be asked. And so, preparing by spending time practicing your language skills is a good way to prepare for the unexpected questions. Spending some time practicing your vocabulary, improving your grammar usage, using these in a variety of ways, using complex sentences, for example, or practicing this in your speaking, using complex sentences, and trying to use it in your writing as well in a variety of different ways. And this will equally prepare you for the IELTS test as much as focusing on the test will. Tip number 3, not immersing yourself in English. Another mistake that many students make in preparation for their IELTS test is to not immerse themselves in English. In order to best improve your English language skills, it is important that you expose yourself to as much English as possible. So over and above the practice that you engage in with your tutors and the practice that you engage in on online websites, you must do your best to practice and explore English in many other various ways. And these can include things like reading things that interest you in English, reading online articles or blogs, maybe even reading the news on the BBC. There are quite a few helpful sites online that are specifically focused on English learners, such as breakingnewsenglish.com or Engu. So another thing you can do is write some English every day. Keep a diary, write in a journal about your thoughts and your experiences in the day. Consider communicating with an online community, such as people on a Facebook group that share an interest with you. Watch movies in English, listen to native speakers talking to one another, and if possible, join in. Try the shadowing technique. This is where you repeat what someone has just said in English. So maybe you can watch a movie on Netflix, listen to what's being said, pause the video, and then repeat what they said, and then continue playing, and then do this again with the next part. Repeat what they said, press play. This will help with your pronunciation, with your intonation, and with the stress that you use in your English. Tip number 4, not following instructions. Now this one probably goes without saying, but some students still make this mistake. They don't follow the rules, or they don't read the rules carefully. For example, every section in your tests, there are some listed instructions. So make sure you read through these very carefully and make sure that you understand what's being asked of you. Remember, examiners will deduct marks if you do not follow these instructions to the letter. Now, in the reading test is an example of where students make this mistake. For example, the instructions in a question may read as follows. Complete the sentence below. Write no more than 3 words for each answer. And unfortunately, some students write more than 3 answers, or at least more than 3 words. And this will impact your score negatively because you've not followed the instructions carefully. And your final tip. Tip number 5. Remember the word count in IELTS writing. Now, in your IELTS writing test, it is important to note that your tasks are word count based, which means that there is a specific minimum number of words you can use. IELTS writing tasks strictly follow the word count. So for IELTS writing task 1, the letter or the report, you need to write 150 words, whereas for IELTS writing task 2, the essay, you're required to write 250 words. Now, while there's no upper word limit, meaning you can write more than the number of words indicated, writing an essay or writing a task that is too short will lower your score. So take some time to count your words and to ensure you have written the same or at least more than the indicated minimum number of words. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Cambly, well, Cambly gives you instant access to friendly native English speakers like me. And you can take English lessons anytime, anywhere, right from your phone or your computer. So schedule your next lesson with me or any of our amazing tutors just by using the link down below. And as usual, thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, ciao for now.